Battle Royale games have seemingly come out of nowhere and completely dominated the online multiplayer scene like no new genre ever has. MOBAs might have exploded onto the scene in the early 2010s, but they were all derived from the original Warcraft 3 Dota mod, which, while popular, was never that popular. It took its sweet time to develop into what it is today. And the same goes for card games. It seems like every game publisher that holds the rights to any popular IP is scrambling to make a card game out of it. But even before Hearthstone, there were a lot of online card games. But Battle Royales aren't like this. They blend elements of survival games with the last man standing gameplay, and they were the first to do it. You could say that they have their roots in large survival mods for games like Minecraft, but for the most part, this genre stands on its own. Like we've said, this genre is insanely popular. It seems like everybody's playing it, and those who aren't want to play it. It's not hard to imagine that the only thing keeping these people from playing a Battle Royale game is that they don't know which one they should play. So, if you're one of those people, then this video is for you, because we'll be taking a look at the two most popular games of the genre, PUBG and Fortnite. PUBG is still the first title that most people will associate with this genre, and it's easy to see why. It isn't the first Battle Royale game, but it's definitely popularized them, as would any game that gets released in December and still manages to sell more than 25 million units by the end of that year. However, it would appear that PUBG's player base has already hit its all-time peak, and as of May 2018, Fortnite is the king of the genre, at least as far as the concurrent player count is concerned. There are many reasons for this. It may be due to the fact that Fortnite is newer, and when many streamers migrated to this game to check it out, their fans followed as well. We also have to keep in mind that nothing beats Fortnite's low price of $0. And finally, while you can play both of these games on PC, as far as consoles are concerned, PUBG is only available on Xbox One, but you can play Fortnite on both Xbox One and the PS4. That said, these games look very similar, or they sound very similar at least, because the graphic styles they adopt are quite unique, but they're both battle royales built on Unreal Engine 4. So to help you decide which one you should play, we'll be taking a look at what exactly it makes them different. Let's start with the graphics, because we already mentioned them, and there really isn't all that much to say. PUBG opts for a more realistic look, while Fortnite appears much more cartoonish, kind of like Team Fortress 2. The only way in which this influences gameplay is that players are much more harder to spot in PUBG because they don't stand out as much. Although you could say that this isn't a flaw on PUBG's part because that game tries to be hard and this only makes it harder. Moving on to more important aspects, let's look at optimization. PUBG is developed by a much smaller team, so the game isn't nearly as optimized as it could be, and it's definitely not as optimized as Fortnite. If you're having trouble running the former, chances are you'll have no problems running the latter. And the optimization isn't limited to just what the requirements are, but also how quickly a game will start. It takes much less time to start a game in Fortnite than it does in PUBG, and the developers are looking for ways to make it even faster. This is immensely important for Battle Royales, because you only get one life, so when you die, you're done, and you want to be able to start the next game as soon as possible. Of course, we can't discuss Battle Royales without comparing the arenas. In both games, you'll first enter a lobby arena with up to 100 other players, and then the actual match will start. In PUBG, you'll start in an airplane and be able to drop anywhere you want on the map with a parachute. Fortnite games start pretty much the same, except that you'll be on a party bus, and you'll use an umbrella or something else to enter the arena. PUBG has two maps. One is a fictive island in Russia, and the other a desert map in Mexico. They're both fairly large so as to accommodate for the realistic feel of the game. By comparison, Fortnite's map is smaller and generic island with cities. The size of the map isn't just for show either. Because it's so small in Fortnite, you'll be able to cover a relatively huge distance when dropping in from a battle bus, which of course isn't the case in PUBG, well, you'll generally just aim to avoid enemies. Like we've said, the premise of these games is really quite simple. Be the last man standing, or be the last team standing in case you're playing duo or squad modes. Also, to keep the matches from dragging on forever, both games utilize a circular toxic gas that will gradually cover larger and larger parts of the map. You need to stay inside the ever-shrinking circle that's free from this gas, else you'll keep losing HP, and rapidly so. Fortnite games are generally shorter because the map is smaller and the gas circle is timed differently. But this isn't the important difference. No. Now, the important difference, and the thing that sets Fortnite apart from PUBG, is the fact that you can build stuff. You can destroy trees, houses, or anything, really. Use the resources to build protective walls, trap houses, or even the stairway to heaven. It's kinda like Minecraft in a way. And it's this part of the mechanic that makes Fortnite's games feel unique and fun. And fun is, in general, a good word to describe Fortnite. Because the games are shorter, you have a much easier time finding enemies and enjoying the PvP. Of course, we don't mean to say that PUBG isn't good, but it's more good than fun, if that makes sense. The realistic gameplay and the large map can make it quite nerve-wracking to play, especially when you spend half the game unable to find any other players on the map, only to get killed by a sniper. And there are lots and lots of snipers in PUBG. So while this doesn't make the game bad, in fact it only makes the realism that much greater, it's definitely not something that everyone will enjoy. One thing we forgot to mention is that when you drop from the sky in either of these games, you don't have any weapons or equipment on you. You have to loot everything. And doing this is definitely much easier in Fortnite, where the items are plenty and highlighted, than in PUBG, where you'll often have to go through many houses without finding much of anything to loot. In Fortnite, you can carry up to 5 weapons and consumables, but this is pretty much all you can loot. There are no armor pieces or helmets, and the only way you can change your character's appearance is with skins. Although you can loot shields that effectively double your health when filled up. On the other hand, you can loot everything and anything in PUBG, from weapons, helmets, and chest armor to shoes, pants, and you name it. The last thing we'll cover is how shooting feels in these games. PUBG nails the realistic feedback and recoil that you'd expect. If this is something you want in a game, then you should definitely go with PUBG, because you just won't find it in Fortnite. And it's not like Fortnite is bad for not having this. Shooting in Fortnite is different by design. It's simpler and easier to better accommodate the casual gamer whom they're really trying to attract. In the end, which of these games that you should play will depend entirely on your preferences. If you're looking for a more realistic game with longer rounds and a tense atmosphere, then you'll definitely enjoy PUBG more. But if you like playing shorter games with more gameplay mechanics at your disposal, like building, which only raises the skill cap, then you should definitely try Fortnite. It may be free, but don't think for a moment that the game suffers for it. It's actually the more polished game of the two. And there you have it, a brief comparison of these two games that will hopefully make your decision easier. Tell us in the comments below which one you like better and if we missed anything. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.